Vasudeva. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet. Before reciting Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto the Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Śrīla Vyasadeva, the author of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. By regular attendance in the classes on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Namo Pankajanaභaya Namo Pankajamaline Namo Pankajanitraya Namaste Pankajangriye. Hare Krishna, dear Vaishnavas, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Granth-raj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 14, The Ideal Family Life. This Srimad Raj is asking about the formula for happiness, liberation for the Grihasthas. And then Narad Muni tells two things. Number one, that all the work should be dovetailed or dedicated to Krishna. And in the last verse, text number 3 and 4, he mentioned about hearing. Hearing what? Krishna Katha, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And this is my personal observation that this topic of Shravanam is so dear to Srila Prabhupada. Because this is my observation anytime, any verse where the context of Shravanam comes, Prabhupada gives a very detailed purport. And text 3 and 4 is a classic example. Talking about Bhagavad Gita 7.1, Prabhupada goes into ecstasy and gives a 2-page purport. Talking about the Shravanam Kirtanam verse, Prabhupada gives a 5-6 page purport. So it basically again and again, and many other examples are there. Many verses talk about the Shravanam, which is the first limb of bhakti, hearing Krishna Katha. And Prabhupada is showing his ecstasy by giving detailed Bhaktivedanta purports. So important it is for us, for everyone, whether householder, brahmachari, young, old, man, woman, etc., to hear Bhagavatam daily. So we are so blessed actually. And all glories to all of you who are regularly coming and giving your association to do this dear service to Prabhupada and for our own purification. Let's read the next verse, text number 5. Yavad artham upasino dehe gehaye cha panditaha virakto raktavat tatra nriloke naratam yaset. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. While working to earn his livelihood as much as necessary to maintain body and soul together, one who is actually learned should live in human society unattached to family affairs, although externally appearing very much attached. Hare Krishna. So, purport. This is the picture of ideal family life. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Ramananda Rai about the goal of life, Ramananda Rai described it in different ways, according to the recommendations of the revealed scriptures. And finally, Sri Ramananda Rai explained that one may stay in his own position, whether as a Brahmana, Shudra, Sannyasi, or whatever, but one must try to inquire about life's goal, athato brahma jigyasa. This is the proper utilization of the human form of life. When one misuses the gift of the human form of life by unnecessarily indulging in the animal propensities of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, and does not try to get out of the clutches of Maya, which subjects one to repeated birth, death, old age, and disease, one is again pushed by being forced to descend to the lower species and undergo evolution according to the laws of nature. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha. Being completely under the grip of material energy, material nature, the living entity must evolve again from the lower species to the higher species until he at last returns to the human life and gets the chance to be freed from the material clutches. A wise man, however, learns from the Shastras and Guru that we living entities are all eternal but are put into troublesome conditions because of associating with different modes under the laws of material nature. He therefore concludes that in the human form of life, he should not endeavor for unnecessary necessities but should live a very simple life, just maintaining body and soul together. Certainly, one requires some means of livelihood, and according to one's varna and ashrama, this means to this means of livelihood is prescribed in the Shastras. One should be satisfied with this. Therefore, instead of hankering for more and more money, a sincere devotee of the Lord tries to invent some ways to earn his livelihood, and when he does so, Krishna helps him. Earning one's livelihood, therefore, is not a problem. The real problem is how to get free from the bondage of birth, death, old age. Attaining this freedom and not inventing unnecessary necessities is the basic principle of Vedic civilization. One should be satisfied with whatever means of life comes automatically. The modern materialistic civilization is just the opposite of the ideal civilization. Every day, the so called leaders of modern society invent something contributing to a cumbersome way of life that implicates people more and more in the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. Wow. So, who is speaking this? Narada Muni. To whom? To Maharaj Yudhishthira. So he mentioned about working for Krishna, he mentioned about hearing Krishna Katha. Now he's mentioning about detachment. Yes, one should be internally detached and externally appear to be attached. Yes, one has to take care of one's husband, wife, children, parents. That is the duty. And this Prabhupada is quoting the conversation between Ramananda Rai and Lord Chaitanya. So if we are, like example of a businessman, the businessman is attached to his business, and he will do other things like taking care of the family, eating food, and taking rest, but his focus would be how to grow the business, so that we can learn from the Vyavasatmika Buddhi. Vyavasaya means business. So similarly, if someone's attraction and focus of attention is Krishna, yes, one will do other things. For example, doing one's job, taking care of the family, paying the bills, and getting the grocery, everything. But the focus is always how to please Krishna. The attachment is there. And rest all things one is doing like an ordinary householder or like a grihamedi. Externally, grihamedi and grihastha don't appear to be, physically different. It's not that grihamedi has two horns on his head. Oh, he's a grihamedi. It's not that grihamedis physically or externally have something different. Externally, they may appear to be the same, but Krishna consciousness is a state of consciousness. That's why it's called Krishna conscious. So, but the internal difference, Grihamedi, the focus is one's own self and extended self. Me, my family, my, I, me, mine. But for a Grihastha, The focus is Krishna. Internal attachment to Krishna will naturally bring detachment from the things which are not conducive for Krishna consciousness. For example, uh, irregulated eating, irregulated sleeping, irregulated mating, defending. All these are not desirable. So Maya will free one who is taking shelter of Krishna. Maya will free from this the clutches. So the idea is simple living, not unnecessarily increasing our so-called desires and then just getting caught up in our own web and then feeling, oh, I don't have time. So one should do one's dutiful work and be satisfied. The idea is simple living, high thinking, and practicing more and more Krishna consciousness. And whatever is in one's prarabdha will come with dutiful effort. That is the formula to be free from the cycle of birth and death. And if one is not doing so, yesterday, Vit Bojam, it's like ass and pigs who like to enjoy stool. So one should not follow that mentality, like animalistic propensity, as Prabhupada is mentioning here. One should focus on Thatu Brahma Jigyasa, intelligently inquire about the real goal of life. That's Grihastha Ashram. That will make ashram means ashray of Krishna, where Krishna consciousness is foremost. So, and too much attachment on the bodily level is also not good. I mean, oh, I am Punjabi, so all Punjabis are great. I am Gujarati, so Gujaratis are great. Or sometimes I am Indian, so Indians are great. There's also bodily attachment. Uh, it may be subtle or quite deep. We may not be able to even comprehend that. Uh, that's why Kunti, someone asked this question to, I think, Pran Govind Prabhu in one of the classes, like why Kunti Maharani is asking for cutting off the knots of attachment. So even though we may say, oh, I'm attached to devotees, but I'm attached to my family devotees much, much, much more than I'm attached to any other devotee. So my attachment to my family devotee, is that on a family level more or on a spiritual level more? So any other comments, questions anyone has? Yes, Mataji, please.
Prabhuji, just we discussed that there's unnecessary defending. Can I just ask one example of how to protect and what is actually unnecessary defending?
Which line are you reading, Mataji?
In the beginning, no, Prabhuji, in the purport that unnecessary, we should not indulge ourselves in unnecessary eating, sleeping. It is first, second, third, fourth, sixth line. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending.
Unnecessarily means which is. Nandini Mataji, you want to answer this? You're on mute if you're speaking. You raise your hand for something.
Sorry, Prabhu. I wanted to read the next one, but I can answer.
Okay.
So
please go ahead.
unnecessary.
Can you please? Your voice is very low.
Sorry, is this better?
Yes.
Okay. So one time Indrajamna Swami was giving this answer. The Bhagavad Gita says that a yogi should not eat little, too little, or too much. So he was saying that once we control that and we control our propensities, then it's very easy to get out of clutches of Maya. When we eat, just what is required, our body and soul are together, which is what we read in a couple of chapters before. One just tries to keep his body and soul together, and when one does not make too much endeavor. I hope that satisfies. Shubharas Prabhu, please add. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Necessary according means which is approved by Guru Sadhu Shastra. Simple. If we do beyond that, that's unnecessary. And now everyone's situation is different, everyone's level of spiritual advancement is different. So someone could be fine with 5 hours of sleep, someone could be fine with 6 hours of sleep, and someone with 7 or someone 8. So we have to be, we have to understand everyone's body is different, everyone's occupation is different, everyone's age is different. So we don't have to beat ourselves, hey, I'm sleeping 7 hours and other devotees sleeping 5 hours and I am in Maya. We have to see what is, and therefore we need counselor, because scriptures will give a general principle. Okay, oversleeping is bad, overeating is bad, but what is that over level could be different for different individuals. Same unnecessarily mating. The ideal standard is for only for Krishna conscious children. That is approved by Guru Sadhu Shastra. But that one should strive to get there, and ultimately, same with defending. Oh, my money will protect me. My insurance will protect me. This allopathy will protect me. Naturopathy will protect me. We forget the Lakshmipati, that he is a real protector. So ultimately, if we are doing actions based on the recommendations of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, and not overindulging, or not trying to follow the extreme examples of, let's say, oh, Prabhupada was sleeping 2 hours, I'll also sleep 2 hours. That's also on the other extreme. One could imitate for a couple of days and then have severe bodily problems. So does that make sense, Mataji?
Ji Prabhuji, I understood. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, Mataji, you want to read, please?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, I have a question.
Okay, please.
Prabhu, in the purport, Prabhupada is saying that Ramananda Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had some conversation. So, who was Ramananda Rai and what is that conversation? Can you please explain this?
Ramananda Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a very, very detailed conversation. It is in Chaitanya Charitamrita. They had, of course, their whole family was basically a family of pure devotees. Ramananda Rai was actually eternal associate of Lord Chaitanya. Just to briefly mention, of course, Pravir Prabhu Nandini Mataji. Pravir Prabhu is like encyclopedia for Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's in and out. But their conversation was pretty much about, okay, what's the best thing? And Lord Chaitanya kept asking and asking and asking, and ultimately, tell me more, tell me more. Lord Chaitanya, Ramananda said, okay, this one ashrama, okay, now tell me more, deeper, deeper, deeper. And then they were going deeper in the divine, in the topmost prema bhakti. So it's a very big topic. So that's a very short answer for, there are lectures and seminars about Ramananda Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's conversation and the lessons from it. There are like some devotees have taken seminars on that just. So, okay.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you.
Mataji, in nutshell, Madhya Lila, Chaitanya Charitamrita, 8th chapter you can read. And he is Lalita Sakhi in Krishna's pastime, Ramananda Roy. And then the deepest love, he says, finally, Lord Chaitanya keeps him on pushing. And he says the best is the gopis' love for Krishna. They come from Dasya, Sakhya, parental, and then confidential pastimes are the best with the gopis. That's what is the perfection of pure devotional service is the question. And Lord Chaitanya keeps him on pressing and pressing.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Shall I continue, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Okay. Dandal Pranam devotees, text 6. Nyataya pitro putra bhratraha surudho pare yadvanti yadi achanti chanumodet nirmamaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. An intelligent man in human society should make his own program of activities very simple. If there are suggestions from his friends, children, parents, brothers, or anyone else, he should externally agree, saying, yes, that is all right. But internally, he should be determined not to create a cumbersome life in which the purpose of life will not be fulfilled. Very interesting topic. Uh, I would like to give a couple of examples about this. One of very senior devotees here in Alachua, she was staying in the ashram, and her brother had come to convince her to come out of ashram and go back and join home, leave Krishna consciousness. And she asked Guru what to do. She asked the senior member what to do. He said, just agree, say everything is all right. Yes, yes, yes. But if he asks you to leave the temple, don't leave the temple. And she kept on saying, yes, yes, you need to study. Yes, yes, I need to study. So you cannot study from this temple, living in this temple. Yeah, yeah, you're right. I won't be able to do that. So then you should come home. So then she just said, no, no, I don't want to leave the temple in the night. And later she found out that her brother had really come to convince her, but because she didn't want it to leave the temple, he got delayed and he didn't pursue that. So one can remain a devotee if he just agrees, yes, yes, that is all right. It pleases the other person. And a lot of time, these friends, families, so-called friends, they really don't want you to be a devotee. I have also seen in my own life. I feel that if I had called few of my dear ones for my initiation, they may have turned me around and said, "No, this initiation is maybe for you, but not right now." And so I did not invite anybody for my initiation. I got initiated, and I told everybody the news. And one of my other friends, he invited his parents, and the parents completely turned him around 180 degrees and said, no, no, don't get initiated, this is not for us. You can chant 16 rounds, that's very good, but not don't get initiated. And later this person slowly could not continue his a devotion service. So this is a very, very subtle topic, but this is a very important topic. It's just to say yes, yes, coming soon, or yeah. But internally, you're very fixed in what you want. And to make a life little less cumbersome, also I have seen a lot of people, they deny promotions, they don't get into complicated businesses, side businesses, or this or that. They're one track mind. Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekehetu kurunandana. The one track is fixed, that is Krishna consciousness. And if anything stops, sadhana becomes less, or consistency becomes less, they immediately check with their guru sadhu shastra, check with their seniors, like Shubhala's going through, who always really puts focus on. And then they always try to go for simpler solution. Simplicity attracts heart of Krishna. So I feel that the this is the gist of the purport. Back to you, Prabhu, please. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing such wonderful examples and these real life pastimes. Anyone has any questions? We discussed this topic, I think, in a few other verses as well. Because in this world, a lot of people will give unwanted suggestions and unwanted, they may have no clue about bhakti. They may not, and most of them, almost majority of them, are not our true well-wishers either. Even though they may be so-called relatives, but even genuine well-wishers who are happy to see us happy are very, very few. So we should not take their advices, unwanted advices or feedback seriously. At the same time, we should not argue also, as Mataji shared the example. Sometimes your parents may say, oh, you're just a young 30-year-old, 35-year, Even if you grow 50 years, their parents will feel you are just a baby. So there will be always unwanted suggestions. So you have to just say yes. Shall I tell a joke? One time Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj told this thing in a class. Ha ha bolte raho. Ha ha ha. Yes, yes. Keep saying yes, yes. Ha ha bolte raho. And then when Mataji, asked a question that Maharaj, whenever I say to my husband, "Oh, my husband, Prabhu, can you please help me with this? With the cleaning the room, the guests are coming." He'll say, "Ha, ha, yes, yes." But he'll not do it. He'll say, "Okay, Prabhu, can you help the kids to do the homework?" He'll say, "Ha, ha, yeah, yeah, yes, yes." But he will continue doing his stuff. So what should I do? It was a funny question. Maharaj said, "Okay, next time, when he will ask you, okay, is the prasadam ready? When will be the prasadam?" You say, "Yes, yes, ha, ha, yes." So it's a sweet, funny exchange, but there's a deep lesson behind it. We should not take any Tom, Dick, Harry's opinion seriously. We have to focus on Guru Sadhu Shastra. Okay, let's read next verse, text 7. It's a longer purport. So maybe two devotees can read. Who has not read so far?
I can read, Prabhu.
Yeah, please.
Text 7. Divyam bhavamam chantariksham vityam achyutya nirmitam tat sarvam upayuchanam etat kuryat sav swato buddha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The natural products created by Supreme Personality of the Godhead should be utilized to maintain the bodies and soul of all living entities. The necessities of life are of three types: those produced from the sky, from rainfall, from the earth, from the mines, the seas, or the fields, and from the atmosphere, that which is obtained suddenly and unexpectedly. Purport: we living entities in different forms are all children of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as confirmed by the Lord in Bhagavad Gita 14.4. Sarvayonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavantiya tasam brahma mahadyonir aham bija pradapita. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving Father. The Supreme Lord Kṛṣṇa is the Father of all living entities in different species and forms. One who is intelligent can see that all living entities in the 8,400,000 bodily forms are part of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead and are His sons. Everything within the material and spiritual world is the property of the Supreme Lord. Sarvasham idam sarvam. And therefore, everything has the relationship with Him. Srila Rupa Goswami says in this regard, Prapanchikanteya buddhya hari sambandhi vastunaha mumu kusubhiha parityago virakyam halagu kathaye. One who rejects anything without knowledge of the relationship to Krishna is incomplete in his renunciation. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.256. Although Mayavadi philosophers say that the material creation is false, actually it is not false, it is factual. But the idea that everything belongs to human society is false. Everything belongs to Supreme Personality of the Godhead, for everything is created by Him. All living entities, being the Lord's Son, His eternal parts and parcel, have the right to use their Father's property by nature's arrangement. As stated in the Upanishads, Tena Tvaktena Bhumjita Ma Kradaha Kasya Svit Dhana. Everyone should be satisfied with the thing allotted him by the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. No one should encroach upon another rights of property. So I will stop here, Prabhu. So here, Srila Prabhupada is explained very nicely in the purport that the natural product created by Lord should be utilized and maintained body and soul. And those are the necessities we all know, which some comes from the sky, from earth, and atmosphere. Whatever has been created from the rainfall, such as food, grains, fruits, flowers, and everyone should understand here that this is the nature arrangement, and we are all the part and parcel of the Lord, and He is the Father's. But all that He is a property, and by the natures of the arrangement, we are basically allowed to have used as property that has been mentioned here. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Would someone like to read the rest of the purport? There's not read so far this week.
Yeah, I can read.
Yes, please.
Hare Krishna, devotees. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Anat bhavanti bhutani paryanjaya anna sambhava yajnat bhavati parajanyo yajna karma samu samudbhava. All living bodies subsist on food grains, which are produced from rains. Rains are produced by performance of yajna, sacrifice, and yajna is born of prescribed duties. Bhagavad Gita 3.14. When food grains are sufficiently produced, both animals and human beings can be nourished without difficulty for their maintenance. This is nature's arrangement. Prakriti kriyamani guniya karmani sarvasaha. Everyone is acting under the influence of material nature, and only fools think they can improve upon what God has created. The householders are specifically responsible for seeing that the laws of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are maintained without fighting between men, communities, societies, or nations. Human society should properly utilize the gifts of God, especially the food grains that grow because of rain falling from the sky. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Yagnat Bhavati Parjanya, so that rainfall will be regulated, humanity should perform yajnas, sacrifices. Yajnas were previously performed with offerings of oblations of ghee and food grains, but in this age, of course, this is no longer possible, for the production of ghee and food grains has diminished because of the sinful life of human society. However, people should take to Krishna consciousness and chant the Hare Krishna mantra as recommended in the Shastras. Yajna Sankirtana prayer yajantihi sumetusaha. If people throughout the world take to Krishna consciousness movement and chant the easy sound vibration of the transcendental name and fame of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there will be no scarcity of rainfall. Consequently, food grains, fruits, and flowers will be properly produced, and all the necessities of life will be easily obtained. Grahasthas or householders should take the responsibility for organizing such natural production. It is therefore said, tasyava hito prayatita kovida. An intelligent person should try to spread Krishna consciousness throughout the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, and all the necessities of life will automatically follow. So the rest of this purport is talking about how everything is really already provided by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Only fools think that they can do better than what the material nature. The material nature is all coming from the Supreme Personality, the Lord. So we get rains. From rains we grow grains, and from grains, animals and human beings are all nourished. And the rains come at previously sacrifices, yajnas were performed to bring about rain. But in this day and age, that's no longer possible. So we have the Krishna conscious movement, and our yajnas are now chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So this is what I think. This is what I understand from this. Thank you, Prabhu. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Umesh Prabhu and Raghu Prabhu, for reading. So Bhagavatam is teaching a culture of interdependence. It's not just me or just my family I care about. Rest, everyone go to hell. That's not the Vedic formula. One should, the products given by the Supreme Lord, whether it is grains, whether it is anything which we see, which we say, oh, it's my thing, my car, my home, my property, my this, my that. It's not just me. First of all, it is given by Krishna. And now we have been given a position of responsibility for whatever we are saying is mine. But that's not mine. It is to be used to maintain the bodies and souls of all living entities. Very, very important. This is from the translation. So the idea is, again, to not artificially reject Hari Sambandhani Vastunaha, to see everything connected. Sambandha means relation. Everything is connected or has a relationship with the Supreme Lord, whether it is the grains, whether it is water, whether it is rainfall, whether it is electrical energy, whether it is heat energy, or any form of energy. Ultimately, it's coming from the Supreme Energetic, the Supreme Shaktiman. Shakti comes from Shaktiman, and that's Krishna, the cause of all causes. So if I'm just using for my own sense gratification and ignoring others' body and spiritual needs, then I am Kṛṣṇa, miser. I am not a Bhagavad Kovida. Kovida, this COVID is going on. Kovida, the word is used here. So we have to become Kovida. That means intelligent. Intelligent people take to Krishna conscious. Intelligent people understand that life is not meant to be selfishly lived for my own sense gratification. Intelligent people take to Krishna consciousness. Yajanti hi sumedhasaha. The sumedha, the ones who have good intelligence. Su means good, medha means intelligence. They take to Krishna consciousness. They try to reach out to others and help in their bodily and spiritual needs. That's Krishna consciousness. Helping our own self, स्वयं उद्धार and then karo paropkar. First, practicing one own self, taking care of our own health, mental health, emotional health, physical health, spiritual health, and then, to the best of our ability, help others. Today I was, reminded of His Holiness Radharaman Maharaj's lecture that, okay, we cannot be Prabhupada, we cannot be the sun to enlighten the whole world, but we can do our little part. Chanakya's father also told him while he was passing away from his, on his deathbed, Suraj na sahi, Deepak jarur banna. If you can't be the sun, be the lamp. So if you can't be Hanuman, at least be the little squirrel to help in Lord's mission, to put particles of sand for the mission of the Lord. That's the real thing. So whatever we have is a blessing, and it must be used for everyone's benefit. Therefore, we say Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. Sarve means all, not just, Indians Bhavantu Sukhina, or Punjabis Bhavantu Sukhina, Gujaratis Bhavantu Sukhina. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. Everyone be happy. That's the consciousness of a devotee. That's a consciousness. Srila Prabhupada used to repeat this mantra, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavi. So it's a duty of all of us, every devotee, every intelligent person, to have that consciousness, to be a well-wisher, Suhrida Sarva Bhutana. That's Krishna consciousness. And then if you're a well-wisher, if a person needs food, we give them prasadam. If a person, based on the situations, Krishna will help us to do the right things at the right time for that situation. But we must try our best to help everyone based on our abilities. Any comments, questions? Anyone has any additions in this text?
That we understand from the sky and earth, what is that is saying here? Obtained suddenly and unexpectedly from atmosphere. What is that refers to?
In the translation we're reading?
Yes.
Okay, from the atmosphere, that which is obtained suddenly. Okay.
Prabhu,
Yes, Mataji. Yes, please.
So if you see the translation, it means swataha, obtained of itself without extra endeavor. So there are necessities of life are of three types. So rainfall is giving us, fulfilling our some of our necessities, right? From the mines, sea comes the salt, the mines comes the copper or whatever other materials that we use. And from the atmosphere also, there are certain necessities that are fulfilled. Even lightning, which comes from atmosphere on its own accord, helps us get the like it will have its own effects. I don't remember exactly right now all the effects, positive effects the lightning has, but that's what it's saying, that one provides the rain, other provides the salt and other ingredients, and the atmosphere also provides us oxygen. It comes on its own accord. We don't have to struggle hard for getting all these things. They come, God is providing all the necessities. Does that help? We don't have to endeavor so much. We just depend on God. And I believe that's the gist of the shloka. Prabhu, please correct on that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing. Yeah, the word is antariksha. The atmosphere is obtained by chance. Antariksham, Prabhupada is mentioning, obtained by chance. So, yeah. If you suddenly get something unexpectedly, And then we say, some people, this is my, again, understanding it, just the word unexpected. Let's say if someone gets something unexpectedly, some great inheritance, let's say, oh, your maternal grandfather's uncle then left $1 million for you, and you didn't expect that, and suddenly it happened. But then different people will use it differently. So that could also be one example in this category.
And also the last line of the purport, the summary of the purport is extremely beautiful. The chanting of one should just try to spread the Krishna consciousness through chanting of the holy name of the Lord, and all the necessities of life will be automatically fulfilled or followed. So everything will be provided as far as we do Sankirtana Yajna.
Thank you. Yes, many devotees have done that, and there was many examples are there when Sankirtan party went, and there was years and years of drought was there. There was no rainfall, and this Sankirtan party, said, okay, all the village, please come together. Everyone will chant Hare Krishna, and the sky was clear before chanting, and all of suddenly the sky turned blue and Ghanashama, and the monsoon like clouds came, and it was pouring like anything. So everyone was so amazed. That's the real yajna. Yajna is Sankirtana pride. That's the yajna for this age. Hari Nam yajna. Japa
Also,
yajna. Yes,
that
Mataji.
was during the Hyderabad Pandal festival. The Hyderabad drought was removed. And the second, recently at their example, Prabhupada said the Calcutta plague was removed by Sankirtan. The plague was full-fledged, thousands and thousands of people were dying. And they started Sankirtan one day. And within, Prabhupada remembers, within couple of days it was subsided. And he writes there, it's a fact that plague was removed by Sankirtan moment. Back to you, Prabhu, thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Any other comments or questions? Okay, so we will stop here. And today is also the birthday of Her Grace Nandani Kishori Mataji. So Mataji is very senior devotee and exemplary life of dedication and service to Sri Guru and Krishna. Very senior disciple of His Holiness Adhanath Swami Maharaj, serving in the Alachua community since many years and decades, I believe. Such a wonderful example in book distribution, in connecting newer and newer souls to Krishna consciousness, as this verse is telling, and inviting devotees at home, giving Krishna Prasad, giving the warmth and culture of Krishna consciousness, showing the eco farming, and her parents are so exemplary and so amazing in gardening. And I mean, Mataji is full of enthusiasm in so many different ways, and always trying to do more and more for Krishna, for Srila Prabhupada. So we are so blessed that she regularly joins and gives our association in Bhagavatam discussions. So you can all wish loudly by chanting 3 times Hari Bol for Mataji. Hari Bol, Hari Bol,
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Haribo.
Gantraj. Very happy Krishna conscious birthday, Mataji, on behalf of all this our
Thanks,
virtual
Guruji.
group. Thank you so much for your association.
Granthara Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam
Bhagavatam
ki jai.
Jai.
Ki
Prabhupada ki Jai. Samveta Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki Jai. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.